Why do people interpret you minding your business as rejection? Okay, let me rephrase that. Why do people interpret your silence as rejection? Can I say that? You're minding your business. You get up and you are not like the focal point of your life is not to engage in what everyone else is doing. And I don't mean that you don't care, because you are the first one that is there. You know, if you hear somebody needs help, you're the first one offering help. You know what I mean? If you're in the loop of things. Um, but why do people feel like your silence, or you living, or you trying to have your own life, or you establishing boundaries, but it don't even have to get that far. Why do just some people interpret your silence as rejection? Why? And I don't, and there are like, everyone is silent, but I mean, there are people that's silent because they really don't like others, and then there's people that's silent because it's their nature. Okay? And we're talking about you. You have a silent, peaceful nature. But when you just choose to mind your own business, stay to yourself, do your own thing, move to the beat of your own drum, it's not like somebody will invite you somewhere and you'll say no. You're the first one to be like, okay, yeah, sure. Or you're the first one to suggest meeting up with people and doing different things. But why when you literally, why your silence and you just tending to your own home and making sure your home is clean and sweeping around your door is clean and doing all that stuff, why do people interpret that as rejection? You want to know why? People, those people that interpret it as rejection, they look for validation in others. They look for their acceptance comes from the validation of others. If you're not constantly calling, praising them, constantly just performing for them, doing the most, telling them how important they are, making them feel important, then they interpret that as rejection. Can I get an insecure? Because that's what that is, insecurity. So I want you to know right now, if you are having issues connecting with someone, um, but you don't, you got to think about it. Think about how you try to connect with this person versus how you connect with other people. So you connect with other people, fine. They do their own thing, you do your own thing. When y'all get together, it's a thing, and if you can invite them, there's just no, it's just natural. Being around them and being in their world is natural. It's natural. But there are some people, they get offended when, you want to literally, let's just say, the thing that popped into my head is, you know, you want to lead a party early. That, I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm not talking about you not participating, because normally you're the one that is participating. I'm talking about when you're just not available to other people's standards. And I mean, their standards are very unreasonable. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, you have to work, right? But they expect you to just be here at a certain time, or they expect you to just be around at a certain time. But you have to work and you have to tend to your own this, you have to tend to your own that. You got to sort through your problems. I'm trying not to go down a rabbit hole. I'm trying not to go down a rabbit hole because I can't go down the rabbit hole of people that they want you to abandon yourself. They desire for you, and it's more favorable for them for you to abandon yourself, for you to abandon your needs, for you to want to do something opposite of what somebody envisioned. There are some people in life that go about and they just expect you to just magically be around. They get up, They cook and they're like, then they're mad that you're just not there to share the meal. They get up, they get off of work, they go out to eat with a family member, and they're upset because you're just not there. But here's the thing, you don't know nothing about anything. That see, it's like it's almost like, what's the word? I'm not trying to use that N word. Y'all know what N word I'm talking about. I'm not trying to use that N word, but that's what it's given, right? And then they're just mad at, and then when you do show up, they're mad at you like you don't do enough. Mind you, when you are around, it's like they don't respect you having your own space. And it's like whenever you're around, you're trying to offer yourself and, they entertain you, but there's no real connection. And it's almost like you know the truth of this. You know the truth of the situation. You know the truth of the relationship. It's very strategic. But ultimately, you know that they do feel offended because you're just not around. But it's not that because you're not around, it's because you don't kiss. You don't run behind to kiss their tail. You're not running behind them, trying to keep up with them, trying to see what they got going on, trying to see what their next move is. That's what they want. They want your validation. They want your validation. They want your attention. And if you were somebody, which you are, that is something that they want. Because if you were nobody, I don't think they would have even cared. But because you are somebody important in their life, you know who you are, you know why you're important. You know, first off, all of you are important, but you may have a certain title or certain role or certain place, and some people just want to be um followed like they want to be followed, like they want you to be that puppy following them around, seeing about them. They really, and it's a delusion, and it's a word. I'm not gonna use that word because that video is not about this. But I just want you to know, like, it's not you. That's what I'm getting at here. It's not you. Because somebody feels rejected because you're trying to establish your own existence. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. And don't feel offended by their rejection. That is just their immaturity. And that N word, I ain't gonna go down. But there are some people here in life, seriously, you can't hang around your family. They come first before your family. They want you to be around them at all times. You know what I'm saying? If there's a holiday, they want you there for the holiday. If there's a party, they want you there for the party. And if you have obligations for yourself, let's say you had your own obligations, or you had obligations with your family, or even your own friends, that is an offense to them because they're not first in every area of your life. There's something wrong with that. Please do not get caught up in this uh, uh, whirlwind with people like that. Because I'm telling you right now, it's unhealthy. That is not a healthy relationship that they want you to have. It's very unhealthy. Okay? And so don't let anyone make you feel bad. Don't let anyone pressure you. Don't let anyone, get at you for just not following behind them like a puppy dog.